Hey, everybody, just checking out the final numbers as we're winding down here. And it looks like, I mean, you know what? At this point, you're going to have games like this. You play to the level of your opponent, right? You play to the level of your opponent, and all you do is you win the game. That's what it boils down to. You go out and you win the game. All right? So while we're winding this down, let me get to Rhino in Sacktown here. We're going to bring him in early here. Hey, buddy, a win's a win's a win's a win. You know what I'm saying?
A win isn't a win. Exactly, especially this.
Hang on one second here. Once again, we're having a little audio issue. Let me double check this, my friend. Hang on. Hang on. I'm going to do two things here. All right, let's see here. Hang on.
All right.
Hang on. We're going to get you going here. We are going to get you going. All right, try it one more time.
A win is a win, Grant.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So,
yeah. You'll take it. You're right. It's a sloppy game, Rhino, but you know what? How about Fox again? Can you imagine his team right now without De'Aaron Fox?
No, he certainly picked it up for him there in the fourth quarter, really showed some leadership and really some aggression. He dunked the ball on that fast break. Usually that's a layup. Kevin Huerter, 8 points down the stretch. You know, they took a bad team's best shot and still won. And
how about
that's
the free
what
throws?
I really like.
How about the free throws tonight? Again, I'm looking at the free throws, and you know, when you shoot from the line, you're going to win, you know, games. All right. Sabonis 6 of 8, Barnes 8 of 9, Murray 4 of 5, Fox 9 of 9. I mean, you know, that's 29 of 33, Ryan, for nearly 88%. All right. Think about that for a minute. Those are big time numbers.
Yeah, huge numbers, and you can't ask for more. And that means they're getting to the paint. I'm really, really glad that they played a little bit more aggressive towards the end, because I thought that first play of the game was going to set the tone when Sabonis took Bagley down, basically.
Yeah, he took him down. That's what he did.
So, yeah, great free throw shooting. Nothing more to say about that, but we want to see that continue, obviously, throughout the season.
What'd you think about Bagley? What'd you think about the reaction? What were your thoughts on that?
Not surprised. I actually thought I'd be a little louder.
Me too.
But, you know, they always trail off once the game gets into motion. But, you know, he didn't play bad.
No.
Still kind of his mopey self. But, you know, he had some good plays inside. And, I mean, it's a tough environment to come back to. Probably a little emotional for him, too.
Yeah, you know, he only played 21 minutes, 15 points. He had 6 rebounds. But, you know, again, this is Sacramento, 9-6, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. You now hit the road for 3 games. And even if you have a disaster on the road and lose all 3, you come home and you're still 500. So this was huge here. This was a game where the Kings offensively proved that they're going to outscore you, Ryan. They may not play well every night, but they have so many players that can score. They gave up 129 points in this game to a bad Pistons team playing without one of their best players, and yet doesn't matter because they put 137 on the board. Now, that's a dangerous way to live for the season, but right now it's a recipe for success.
It is a recipe for success, Grant. But you bring up the good question. Is it sustainable? We saw pretty much through 3 quarters that they were not shooting the ball well. And then they turned it on there in the 4th quarter. Just imagine if we can tweak that defense a little bit. And if we can just hold teams to maybe 115, 117 a night, that makes us win comfortably on most nights if we play up to par.
Yeah, well, again, 137. And how about the Kings' 4th quarter again? They put 35 points on the board when they had to, and they end up winning by 8. So hit me up with the chat messages. Ryan and I will talk about it. And the bottom line here is this team is going to flat out score on most nights. All right. And that's a great point, Sea-Dog. They can drop a crazy amount of points when they're not at their best. Now, they're not playing Detroit on this road trip. They're playing Memphis, they're playing Atlanta, and they're playing Boston. So we'll see how that handles up on the road. I think you're going to have to play better defense on the road coming up. I really do.
Yeah, they're going to have to, especially against Memphis and Boston. Boston's a grind you down team. We'll see what they do. They can switch it up. We've got Keegan back. It'll be interesting to see how he matches up. Isn't Ja going to be out for the Memphis game, Grant?
I have not heard that officially. I know that they're losing they got Jaren Jackson back, which is really good.
Right.
They got Jaren Jackson back. I don't know. I'm going to look that up right now. I didn't see that. Where did you see that?
I heard some rumblings on ESPN actually about that. That John
right.
may be out. Let's see.
Well, if he's out,
we can look at that.
If he's out, that's going to obviously, change that game out because, when you look at Memphis right now, they're also a team that's been hurt by injuries. I mean, Jaren Jackson just came back, and we know, you're right about Ja Morant. Wow. Let me get the official because they're already without Desmond Bane, grade 1 ankle sprain, and he's out. Yep. So here's the other deal. You're probably not going to have Jaren Jackson, they're saying, either. So you're going to play a Memphis team without Jaren Jackson in all likelihood, although we don't know about him. He could be coming back. Morant and Desmond Bane. Bane had a grade 2 big toe sprain. So if that's the case, if you don't have your starting backcourt, there's no way the Kings should go in there and lose the game. And Memphis is playing right now in Brooklyn. All right. They're playing right now in Brooklyn. So I didn't even see that. Good job on your part. I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah, it broke a little bit late in the afternoon. So when he was out from Brooklyn. So we'll see how that affects the game. Memphis, they still like to get up tempo. Their backup point guard, I can't think of his name right now. He is excellent. He is really, really fun to watch.
Well, they proved last year that they can win without Morant. Okay. And they have Jones, who plays very well, Tyus Jones in back of Morant. But I mean, if I'm looking at this team without their starting backcourt, there's no way in the world the Kings should lose this game to Memphis. But then again, they almost lost this game tonight to Detroit. So we'll take your chat messages. And I mean, you can't start a road trip any better taking on a Memphis team. And that's another thing that Jerry Reynolds and I talked about on Wednesday, Rhino. The Kings haven't had any injuries yet.
Right.
They're going to have injuries. And when they have injuries, then we'll see how they handle that. Right.
Right. Short of Sabonis or Fox, this team seems to be pretty deep. So if we were to lose a role player, bench guy, I wouldn't be as worried so much. But the injuries, knock on wood, will likely come throughout an 82-game season. Going back to Memphis, it's a game they absolutely should win. And quite frankly, I'm glad the Kings got that performance out of their system tonight instead of hitting the road and getting that performance out on the first of a 3-game road trip.
Well, they should. There's no way they should lose to Memphis without their starting backcourt. Just should not do it. should not do it. But first things first, we talk about the game tonight. Kevin Huerter has been unbelievable, no question. Sabonis did have some big rebounds at the end, but the one before that, where the hell would the Kings be without Kevin Huerter? They wouldn't be the same team. They would not be the same team, period. So hit us up on the chat line. Grant Napier, Ryan in Sacktown. This team is consistent. And yeah, I'll tell you one thing. They're consistent offensively. That's for sure. They are very consistent offensively. So again, they figure out a way to win a game where they were sloppy. They wouldn't have won this game last year, Ryan. They would not have won this game last year.
No, I was having the same, it was funny. I was thinking back, Grant, and if this would have been last year and we were down 7 to Detroit at home, I wouldn't look twice. Okay, cool. We're within 7. But it's a different team this year, 100%.
Yep. All right. The Nets are leading the Grizzlies 88-83, that game towards the bottom of the third. So that's the Kings' next opponent. And again, they're catching Sacramento's going to be catching Memphis at an absolutely perfect time. All right? Perfect time. Credit Mike Brown. Credit everybody. Credit everybody. Again, I can tell you this. I know Mike Brown. Mike Brown's not happy with the defense. He's happy to be 3 games over 500, but Mike Brown's been around the block a couple times. He understands they're not going to win in big games against really good teams playing defense like this. So he gets it. He'll know that. All right. So a lot of good messages. Is this a playoff team, Grant? I'm telling you right now, we should not be talking about playoffs in November before Thanksgiving begins. Again, Jerry pointed out this on the show Wednesday, and he made a great point, okay? That the Kings have not had any injuries yet, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? Keep that in mind. As far as Marvin Bagley's dad goes, I don't really have a lot to say about Marvin Bagley's dad. I think the guy's got some real issues. Can we stop with the Coach of the Year stuff? Stop it, all right? No, he shouldn't be Coach of the Year. Okay, stop it with this nonsense. Stop with the postseason awards. Stop with the playoffs. Stop with the Coach of the Year. Okay, that's absurd. Stop it. Really. The Kings have played 15 games. 15 games. You don't hand out MVPs. You don't hand out Most Improved. You don't hand out Coach of the Year. You don't hand out awards after 15 games. Okay, last year in the National Football League, at this very time of the year, the Arizona Cardinals were the talk of the NFL, and Kyler Murray was an MVP candidate. All right. Go back and look it up. Last year at this time, the Arizona Cardinals were the talk of the town. All right. Number 1 seed. Kyler Murray is going to be MVP. And look what happened. So please stop it with this nonsense after 15 games. Get us to at least February 1st before you start talking about awards. Stupid. Really. Stop it. It's ridiculous. All right. That's my rant for today, Ryan.
Yeah, it's too early. But can we talk power rankings, Grant?
No. You can talk standings.
All right.
You can talk standings. All right. You can talk the standings. We got a lot of people that are joining us here on the stream. We are, I'm actually thinking of getting my hair cut tomorrow, and I may get it shaved again. I may make believe we're at it, you think,
4 more games. 4 more games.
That's true. If they win 4 more, I told you I would get it shaved anyway. So, but I may do it anyway.
Grant, do we double down and go for the 20? So you do the mohawk?
I would do a mohawk with 20 straight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Why not? Absolutely. Why not?
25.
We could make believe we're at Bennett's.
Yeah.
And in Roseville, and do it all over again.
Yeah.
We could do it all over again.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you have found us here. And somebody said maybe I am the lucky charm. I don't think I'm the lucky charm. I think the Kings are really just playing incredibly well. Then just let the hair grow out. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Somebody wants to know what's for Christmas. I'm trying to figure out what's for Thanksgiving yet. Not what's for Christmas. All right. But the Christmas decorations are up all over the country. They're up everywhere. They're everywhere. Christmas starts earlier and earlier every single year. Every year starts early.
Yep.
Right? Starts early.
They've been up for months.
Yeah. I might have to buy a mohawk toupee, but I'd like to have the real deal, right?
Yeah.
You
got to do the real thing.
Uh, all right. Again, if you want to hit the chat button, give me a chat. Rhino and I, give me a text via the chat, and we will do it. All right. Someone wants me to get dreadlocks. Well, I don't think I'm going to be getting dreadlocks. All right. I mean,
That
I don't think so. You know what I mean?
no, that would require a lot of work and a lot of extensions.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Grant is, let's talk about right now kind of guy. Yeah, I am. You know why? Because I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen teams go through really bad stretches, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell happened? We were playing so well, and now the team can't win a game. So I've been down this road before, and I'm just saying, yeah, this team looks good. They look good, but the season has just begun. We're a month into the season. All right. There we go.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Grant, on a separate note, what do you think about Malik Monk's ejection tonight?
I was puzzled by it, but here's the other aspect. What you see is not always what you think you see, and there are a lot of times that things are said that doesn't come across the TV when you're watching a game or at the game. So I always like to wait until after the game till I get more details. What'd you think about it?
Sure. I thought if he didn't flex, I thought the flex, like absent of what you said, is what hurt him because he was already going forward with his momentum. Had he bumped into the other player without the flex, I don't think it would have been an issue whatsoever.
I think they're very strict on this type of deal. You know, and it seems like there's very, very, very little latitude, if any at all, right? I mean, it just seems that way. So I want to hear a little bit more. We'll see if there's a pool reporter interviewing the crew chief after the game. We'll see. You know, we'll see.
Sounds good. Well, it
All
is
right.
the point of emphasis this year for the officials, taunting.
That's very true. Very true. Little extreme. They didn't. They almost missed them. I mean, 137, 129. You know, again, look at the consistency in the scoring here. All right, I'm looking at this, Ryan. 38,
Yeah.
30, 34, 35. Now, your opponent scored 30 or more points in every quarter too, which is not good. But the question right now is, how is it that a team is going to outscore Sacramento? Right? How is it that
Well,
they're going to outscore Sacramento? And I'm not really sure they're going to be able to outscore Sacramento right now. And Memphis, without Morant and without Bay, I don't think there's any way Memphis beats Sacramento on Tuesday night. I really don't.
yeah, it's going to be tough for any team in the league right now to outscore them. But I guess the question becomes, do you think this level of offense is sustainable after only watching 15 games?
Yes, I do think it is sustainable. I do think it's sustainable. That part I do. As long as there aren't any serious injuries to Fox or Sabonis, then I think it is sustainable. But I don't think that winning on this level is sustainable with defense like that when you start playing the Boston Celtics of the world and teams of that nature. Okay. Then I think that could be a real issue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, in your mind, and everybody out there, send us your messages. What do you think the issue is, or the big, or one or two things on defense that the Kings can do to maybe change things up? Is it more pressure? Is it more rebounding, shot blocking?
Well, I think shot blocking is not going to happen because you don't really have a shot blocker. And I don't think that all of a sudden is going to happen. I think they're giving up too many easy baskets when I watch at times. I think that that too many easy baskets, I would think, is the one thing that sticks out to me. So, I mean, it's nice to be able to nitpick after wins, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I mean, it really is. It's very nice to be talking about a team that's now won, what, 9 of 11, right?
Yep.
Right? And
Yeah,
again, and can Monty get paid already? Don't worry about Monty McNair, right? That's the last thing you need to be worried about. These things will take care of themselves. I do think if Fox does not get hurt, yeah, he will be an all-star this year. That much I think we can talk about. The all-star game coming up in February. Yes, I do believe that. Confidence building for sure. Yep. 2 Minute D showed up. Yes. But you were playing Detroit. I'm not so sure the 2-minute D is going to work at Atlanta or at Boston. It probably will against Memphis without their starting backcourt. So, and again, we always get questions about lineups. I'm not really worried about who starts. I'm really not. I'm worried about, who's on the floor at the end of close games. That's where I think the emphasis should be. I really do.
Agreed.
What do you think about Detroit? Because we're getting a lot of messages on them, and they were without Cunningham, who's hurt with a stress fracture. They got a nice little ball club they're building there. You're not gonna see the results this year, but they might be pretty good in the near future.
Yeah, they could be fun. Run and gun type of team. Ivy, he works on that 3-ball. He shot the 3-ball well tonight. I know that's been a point of emphasis or critique in Detroit of him. But other than that, they're going to be fun to watch if they keep building the way they are.
Yep. It's about hotels for Adam Silver in Sacramento. They need to get more what they call first-class hotels. No, it wasn't tacky at all. It's not tacky. It's called being a fan. It's not tacky at all, Stan. All right? You go to a game in Philadelphia. Go to a game in Boston. Go to a game in New York. Go to a game in Chicago. All right? It's like Cupcakesville out here in Sacramento. It's not tacky at all. It's called being fans. It's called getting on a guy who was underachieving and whose father created a lot of problems for the franchise. So, no, it's about being a fan. There wasn't anything malicious going on. They didn't do anything that was egregious. They were being fans. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, Stan, I mean, if you pay your money for a seat at the game, as long as you're respectful and you're not saying anything that a 5-year-old child shouldn't hear, you're allowed to boo. You're allowed to cheer,
Good question. Do I think the Kings need to add another piece? Or do I like the roster the way it is? I think if you can make your roster better, you always make your roster better, period. Period. And then here's one about Corey Joseph. All right. Corey Joseph is one of the most professional players I've ever been around in my 32 years of covering the NBA. Okay, period. And you remember what he did last year when he came in and beat Sacramento. And so Corey Joseph is that guy. Marvin Bagley did not want to be a King. I think his father had a lot to do with that. I really do. I think you can blame his father a lot of that. I think his father put Marvin in a really difficult situation. I really do. I think he put him in a very difficult situation. I'm not absolving Marvin, but his father, Ryan, put undue pressure on him. It was really awful.
So, Grant, here's a question for you. In your 32 years, does that not just bleed into the fan base, a situation like that? Does that also bleed into the locker room with your teammates?
Yes, it does. Because a lot of the players are like, you need to handle your business. You need to handle your business. It's not good for your father to be embarrassing the franchise. And so, yes, it does at times bleed into the locker room. All right. So I felt bad for Marvin, a young kid with all that pressure. And then his father is creating a really difficult situation. Being a professional athlete is hard enough as it is. Okay. When you have a family member, I thought Baker Mayfield's wife was very guilty of this in Cleveland too. You're not helping out your husband. You're hurting your husband. It's not good. It's not good. So that's how I feel. I mean, I've been in locker rooms before where an issue like that is talked about and the players do talk about it. And if the players are talking about it, then it's not good. It's plain and simple. It's not good. It's not good. So, all right. If you want to hit us up, please do so. And we are happy to be able to continue to do this live stream. The Kings win 137-129. And next up, a 3-game road trip. Memphis, no Morant, no Desmond Bane. So, I mean, you cannot ask for a better situation to start a road trip than taking on a Memphis team without their starting backcourt. And Desmond Bane killed Sacramento 2 weeks ago, if you remember. Killed him. You
Yes,
know?
he did. It's a great opportunity again to start the road trip off on the right foot, come in, handle your business, and go on to Atlanta and then
Yep.
Boston. Let's come home. One game away from us getting our head shaved.
Yeah. How about that? You know?
Again,
Sorry, why can't officials get calls right, especially right in front when I'm right in front of them? I thought there were some missed calls tonight. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I thought that there were some, definitely some missed calls. Wish you could call the games. The only other guy I put on your level are Mike Breen and Kevin Harlan. Thank you, keeping it real. I appreciate that. Appreciate your love. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of the responses. Yeah, Jaren Jackson also out. He had come back, and I guess he's hurt again. I was shocked that he came back when he did, because Eric Hasseltine and I are really good friends, and Eric is the radio voice of the Grizzlies, and he had told me Eric and I got together in Miami back in September, early September. Eric and I were hanging out in Miami, and he told me he didn't think that they were going to have him back until the first of the year. I mean, he thought he was, and then I saw him, he came back last week, and I'm like, wow. And I haven't talked to Eric yet. Matter of fact, I'll hit Eric up tomorrow and find out what's going on with him. But I was shocked because Eric didn't think they were going to have him back maybe until the All-Star break. And he was back last week. So, he came back. I'm going to see if he's playing tonight. He came back last week, Ryan, and he's an important part to their team down low. He's a really good player, but this is a game of backcourt players. And if you don't have your starting backcourt, you're a problem. So he's not playing tonight. So he's out of the lineup again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he didn't look right. So Memphis led into the Kings national TV game last week, and he did not look right coming back off that foot surgery. So get him right.
Well, Donald, if you want to hear Jerry's take, join me on Wednesday at 3:00 Pacific time, and you'll hear Jerry's take. You'll hear it because Jerry's on with me and Ryan every Wednesday. Bagley looked strong, yes. Yeah, I thought Marvin looked pretty well, don't you? We talked about that for those that are just joining us on the stream. I thought he looked pretty good,
Yeah, he's got to put some meat on his bones, though. That's the only critique that I would say is getting a little lengthy, or a little bit too skinny. I think that would really help his game because Sabonis, he's a bulldog down low, but he's not a big, right? So if you're getting pushed around by Sabonis, then that's going to cause problems and that's going to cause injuries ultimately.
Yep. Yeah, hit the like button and also subscribe if you have not already. Coming up tomorrow, 3:00 Pacific show in Salisbury to talk about the college and the NFL weekend. What a wild, wild weekend in college football. It's just crazy, the game. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the NFL. And then I am going to be coming on and doing post-game shows after all the games on this road trip. So I'm looking forward to that. Yep, the beam is lit. And the Kings will try to light the beam when they hit the road, beginning in Memphis coming up on Tuesday. And again, I'm telling you, I don't know how Memphis would beat Sacramento. They don't have enough offense without Morant and without Bane. I don't see any way that the Kings win or don't win this game. Somebody says, do I remember the last 6-game win streak? I think they had a 6-game win streak 2 years ago.
I think the last 6-game win streak dates back to, I want to say 84.
Was it? Didn't they go on a long win streak 2 years ago and then they end up losing 9 or 10 in a row?
I'm going to look it up.
Look it up 2 years ago. And I might be wrong here, right?
Yeah, well, I could be too.
I might be wrong. But anyway, it's they I know one thing. It's been a long time since they've been 9-6, Someone says 2000. Someone says 2005. So 2004, 2005, a 5-game win streak, right?
Yeah.
All right. Good job on everyone telling us that. What should their record be during the road trip? Well, they got to win at least one game because Memphis, without Morant and without Bane and without Jaren Jackson, if he doesn't play, there's absolutely no way in the world. Okay, no way in the world that they should lose to Memphis. They just should not.
So Grant, if you're boarding the airplane or getting ready to head to Memphis right now, and somebody has a stamp that says you get 2 out of 3, and you don't have to take the trip, are you taking it with the way this team's playing?
Absolutely. But I do know everyone now How excited is everyone to see Sacramento and Boston play next Friday?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be one of the best games of the year based on statistics and offensive numbers, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
All right. Thank you all for your messages. Keep them coming here. Grant Napier, Ryan in Sacktown with us. And we really appreciate you being on. Well, it's our pleasure. Just win. Someone talked about a 2-1 road trip. So 1-2 would be considered a success. Against these teams, I would take 1-2 right now. Yes. Against these teams, I think if Memphis had their starting backcourt, I would definitely say 1-2 would be a success. Without considering that I think Memphis is a W already, then you want to get greedy. There's no reason why Sacramento can't beat Atlanta. They should be able to beat Atlanta. And I'm not saying they can't beat Boston, but they're not going to beat Boston playing defense the way they played tonight. And by the way, Memphis is going to lose in all likelihood tonight as they're down by 11 points with 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, don't you think? All right, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Would you? Of course, I've listened to George, and I know George very well. Do you think? Would you take 1-2?
Yeah, no, I would take 1-2. Absolutely. 0-3 would obviously be a huge problem for me. The 1-2 that I wouldn't take is if the 1 wasn't in Memphis. I want to see them beat the teams that they are supposed to beat.
Yeah. Well, they should beat Memphis coming up. But, so how about this 5-game stretch? We always break the game down. I like 5-game increments. How was that 5-game increment? That was pretty damn good, wasn't it?
You're bordering probably an A-. What do you think, Grant?
Yeah. I'm actually going to give them an A. I'm not going to give them an A+ because of their defense, but I'm going to give them an A. And 1-4, 3-2, 5-0. How do you like those apples? How do you like them apples?
Them apples. There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What flipped? Grant, what do you think flipped? It's been the same team on the floor minus 1 game in Miami. What was that thing that flipped?
I think Sabonis playing the way Sabonis is capable of. That's number one. And I think the bench during this 5-game stretch, Ryan, was really good. The bench won some games during this 5-game stretch. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think the bench. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. My rookie of the year, the only rookie of the year that I would give you is in the National Football League. And the reason for that is the season is turning into the stretch drive. There are no rookies of the year on November 21st, okay? Rookie of the years don't exist on November 21st, all right? Stop it. All right, stop it with these awards after 15 freaking games. Doesn't happen. So, all right, let me ask you this then. Next 5 games for Sacramento starts Tuesday in Memphis. So you go Tuesday, right? You go Tuesday, Memphis, Wednesday, Atlanta, back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
You then have a day off, and you play Boston, all right? When you look at the Kings, they come back home and they open up against Phoenix, right? Coming off that road trip. Let me look at the schedule and make sure I get it completely correct, all right? So these next 5 games, the 3 on the road, all right? Then you come back, you take Phoenix, and that you want to talk about offense? How do you think that's going to be, right? That is going to be unfreaking believable. So you have a little bit of a homestand. What do you think in the next 5 games? What are you thinking about?
Well, obviously 5-0 is what we want. Probably 3-2 would be my guess.
Indiana's that 5th game.
I'm going to still say 3-2. I think we'll get Memphis. I think that we'll get Atlanta. I think that we will have struggles, or the hardest game for us is going to be in Boston. End of the trip, want to get back. We come back refreshed, Phoenix, and then we get Indiana. So I'm saying 3-2. How about you, Grant?
I think 3-2 also. I think you lose in Boston, and I think you're going to lose one of the two games at home coming off the long road trip. All right. I
Okay.
think they can beat Atlanta too. You know, I think you can beat Atlanta too. Again, we don't know about injuries, but if the Sacramento Kings stay healthy, that Atlanta game is going to be a shootout, boy. But I think they can go in and beat Atlanta. Absolutely. Yes, I do. And that would can you imagine if the Kings win against Memphis and win against Atlanta, what that Boston game is going to be like? Wow.
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to
Yeah.
be the closest thing to an early season playoff game that Kings fans have seen in a very
Yeah.
long time.
Oh, turn their sprinkler systems on. The Sacramento Kings are on fire. There you go, buddy. Sorry I hurt your ears, Ryan. All good. All right. So we will be back here tomorrow, Rhino, at 3 o'clock. And Sean Salisbury will be with me. Jerry Reynolds on Wednesday. I'll have post-game shows this week after all 3 road games. Great having you on in the post-game, buddy. Good stuff.
Thanks, Gray. Yeah, awesome. Keep the momentum up. Let's hit the road and have some fun. We'll see you on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to let everybody know that I'll be on for a couple more minutes here. My podcast this week is going to deal with stories from my career and what I'm thankful for on Thanksgiving week. Those episodes will drop on Tuesday and Friday, and you can check it out on your favorite podcast platform. Or if you want, check out my website. My website is very easy to get to. I'll put it up on the screen for you. You can see it visually as well. If you don't like that.com. So stories from my career and what I'm thankful for, that is going to be coming up Tuesday and Friday. Don't know about what I'm going to do with my live shows other than post game with the holiday weekend. I will be on 100% post game shows after all 3 games. All right. But I don't know about Listen App on Friday. Well, I'm going to get a feel for what people want. And so, yeah, I'm looking into it. I am looking into the legalities and everything. I am doing some research. So thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all of your support. Someone wants me to fix my collar. Is it messed up? I was so excited watching the last couple of minutes of the game. My collar was messed up. Thank you for that. You know what? I want to look appropriate when I'm on YouTube. So thank you for that. But why did you tell me, Donald? Why tell me at the end of the stream? You know, I mean, like, you know, I could have how's the hair look? You know, I want to look good for everybody. Well, I can't look good. That's impossible. I don't want to look like a freaking slob. So thank you, Donald. You know, thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Somebody wants to know, can I do a live stream? Again, anything I do, I want it to sound good. All right. And I don't know how it's going to sound without the ambient noise from the game. You know, I don't know what that would sound like. So, hey, Donald, you know what? I'm going to give you a pass and say it's okay that you just noticed it. All right. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. But thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You all are freaking awesome. You really are. I don't know about looking good. Okay. Let's not get carried away here. Hey, I'm happy that I'm doing this. I love interacting with the fans. And thank you very much for all of your support, everybody. I love you all. But listening to your show for over 20 years, so happy to have you here to listen to like the good old days. Thank you, Grant. Well, I'm doing it because of you. And I greatly appreciate everyone that joins me here on these live YouTube shows. And then, again, I'm having a lot of fun doing this YouTube. I really am. I'm having a lot of fun. I really am. How about that Monk Slam? Yeah, that was a dandy. That was a dandy. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was really good. Yes, indeed. Oh, boy is right. Indeed. Beep team is going national. You want to know something? If the Sacramento Kings go into Beantown on Friday, everyone in the country is going to be talking about the Sacramento Kings. That, I will tell you, is going to happen. All right? That's going to happen. That will happen. If the Kings go into Boston and beat the Celtics? Yes. That's a long time, Channel 31. I started back in July of 1987. 1987. I started July of 87. Made the 3-day trip in my my car that didn't have air conditioning, my Subaru hatchback, during the biggest heat wave in the country that year. And oh boy, was it hot. It was hot. Absolutely. All right. So, see you tomorrow. I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank, of course, New Works Plumbing of Sacramento. They've been awesome from day one, sponsoring my podcast and everything else I do. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Trust me, folks, they're awesome. That's sackserviceplumbing.com. Or you can call the number on your screen for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. And remember, if you happen to have an emergency in the middle of the night, that's right, they'll be there with their 24/7 service. sackserviceplumbing.com. Everybody, you are the best. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Kings win. The Kings win again after an 0-4 start. The Sacramento Kings are 9-6. Raise your hand if you had the Kings going 9-6 after starting 0-4. See any hands out there? I don't see any hands out there. All right? Awesome. And remember, if you don't like that, you don't like Kings basketball. Oh, boy. And on that note, make it a good one. I'll be back here tomorrow. So long, everybody, and thanks for joining me and Ryan right here on the special post-game edition. Kings-Pistons. Sacramento beats Detroit, and they're on their way to Memphis, followed by Atlanta, Boston. And happy holidays. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Appreciate your support. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.